Welcome back to the South African morning. Now, it may be the month of love, but after living in a pandemic, many relationships are taking strain. Financial stress can cause cracks in even the strongest partnership. A study by Momentum Investments showed that emotions can significantly impact financial decisions. But for more on this, I'm now joined by Janine Horn, an advisor at Momentum Financial Planning. Janine, thank you so much for your time and welcome to the show. Now, they usually say that money cannot buy you love, but it seems in this context, shared financial values might just strengthen a bond between two partners. I mean, take us through how important it is for, partners, whether you're in a marriage, to have shared financial values.
Absolutely. So, good morning, viewers. We feel that, every relationship needs to be worked at, right? And so they say love is blind. And once we start living with our partners, whether through marriage or lived partnerships, we find that if our values as a couple aren't aligned, and if I don't understand money matters as an individual in the partnership, there often is emotions that come into play. And then love is not enough. And these emotions are the things that are often triggered or there's a catalyst to how we behave, what our lived experiences were as money. And so the first point around money is to understand your literacy and to understand your values around money. And then to adopt good habits. And as a couple, we can then journey through that together. And so lack of experiences, lack of astuteness, lack of education. If you're not financially literate, it affects how you will go into the partnership with your finances and how you behave around money. Also looking at your lived experiences. How did you grow up? How were you affected? Did you live a life of lavish, or was it a struggle? And was it a strain? And so I, as the one partner in the partnership, often take that with me into the relationship. And so it takes effort and hard work, and it's a minefield to navigate. And so the first point would be about establishing an engagement and a conversation around money.
Well, the pandemic has been quite difficult, Janine, for most couples. I mean, without a doubt, when we look at, how many businesses have closed down, how many jobs have been lost, retrenchments, or even, just salaries being cut off. So I can imagine the financial stress that most couples probably had to go through in the past year or so. What advice do you give to such, couples currently going through financial stress?
So it starts with a conversation. They say that the first 3 minutes of vulnerability is the most difficult. Once you step out of that discomfort, you start engaging in a place that is both awkward and perhaps both strained, as you mentioned. The first thing would be about having a conversation and building a plan together. Air your laundry. It may be very dirty laundry. You may have lost your job. You may have had an income decline. You may have gone into too much debt. Marital regimes play a role. And as young couples, are we taught that, if we're married community of property, that what is yours is mine and what is mine is yours. And so similarly with debt, or similarly with poor money habits, we then have to take that on as a couple. And so, yes, it is a difficult time economically, and yes, you may you may operate from a reduced household, but that does mean that one has to have a conversation. Talking about money isn't easy. And then really beyond the conversation is having a plan and sticking to it. Let's chip away at this mountain together as a couple. What is your responsibility and what is mine? How are we going to navigate this together? Yes, it's easier said than done, but it has to take place. And so even if you have the most astute of financial couples, navigating a struggle or a difficult financial situation is certainly not easy. And so the advice around any successful financial relationship would be that it continues to be a work, and it continues to be effort. Air your laundry, whether it be good lived experiences, good habits, share that, tell your stories. If it's from a place of struggle and strife, understand that and adopt new values so that you can change this trajectory.
Right.
I say to the young people that I coach that we can change the trajectory for those who come before us and those who come after us. And then what is the expectation from me as an individual in this couple? And what is the expectation that I then participate and contribute financially to the household? And each of us can continue to have a strategy that will adopt and that will amend and that we will review on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis.
All right, we have to leave it there, Janine, but thank you so much for those quite handy tips that you've given us. There's Janine Horn from Momentum.